Kiwis love a thirst. Like Finn, we're making waves. Generate. Switch online today.
Erin Routliffe, welcome to my podcast.
Thank you so much.
So you're born in New Zealand, but spent most of your life in Canada, and now play tennis for New Zealand. Is that like Kiwi-Nadian?
Oh, I've never heard that one.
No, I just made that up.
I like that. Canadian Kiwi, that's what people call me, but who knows?
Where does your heart feel? Does your heart feel like in New Zealand, or does it feel in Canada, or...?
I think it's a bit of both. I think, with my family being mostly in Canada, that's a big one. And but since, playing for New Zealand and all my life since being born in New Zealand, it's been a big part of me and somewhere that I wanted to come back to. So I think since playing and, I think sport, I don't know, it changes everything. But I do think that with going to the Olympics now and representing New Zealand for like the last, I think, 8 years, that's a really big part of me. And that's like a huge part of my journey. So
there's 2 concerts on at different venues in the same night. Who would you rather go and see, like Nickelback or 660?
660, 100%. If someone answered Nickelback, there'd be a huge problem.
Okay. Maybe there's an anti-Nickelback thing rather than... Okay, Drake or Scribe? I don't know. What other Kiwi rappers can we think of?
Yeah.
That's an unfair...
I wouldn't do Drake, but I wouldn't go to Drake.
Okay. What about Alanis or Lorde?
Lorde again.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll take it. Hey, it's great to have you here. And there's so much to your story that I want to get to, like your adventurous parents and how they ended up in New Zealand, and therefore how you ended up being a New Zealander. But first of all, I think it's worth acknowledging just how fucking awesome you are. Ranked for a time in 2024 as the world's #1 women's doubles player. At the moment when we're sitting down, your ranking is...
I think 2.
Yeah, #2 in the world.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, no, pretty wild. Pretty wild to think about. I still, honestly, a little bit of it doesn't really feel real, but at the same time, yeah, I mean, it's what I've worked obviously my whole life towards. So yeah, no, I'm obviously very proud of myself, and I'm really excited also to keep going. Tennis never really ends, so I'm excited to just keep going.
Also, US Open winner 2023, Wimbledon finalist in the doubles 2024, and winner of the WTA doubles in Saudi Arabia 2024. What the fuck? This is crazy.
Oh, that's funny.
Like it is. Also, I've probably got some dumb questions about the difference between singles versus doubles in tennis. First of all, like how are you ranked #2 and your partner Gaby is ranked #3? Why aren't you second equal?
Good question. So we have, obviously we play almost every tournament together, but we have different rankings. And so Gaby missed the clay season in 2024. So she missed 2.5 months. And so during that, I was playing with other partners and getting more points. So that's why I'm a little bit ahead of her. And then the #1 girl, she played French Open and Wimbledon. Well, she played honestly the whole year with a bunch of different people, but she won French Open with a different partner and then won Wimbledon with a different partner. So that's why she's #1. So we have separate rankings, but a lot of the times you'll see with doubles partners that play all the time together is you have a tie. So it'll be 1 and then 2, 2, and we both are 2, and then it'll go to 4. So it's kind of weird.
Thanks for that explanation.
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I imagine you and Gaby playing all these games together and then the judges going, well, Erin hit 2 more shots or whatever.
Yeah, that would be funny. That would actually be a good way to do it.
So the break that you're talking about, which your partner Gaby, and we'll get into Gaby, that she missed, the clay season you said, was that due to her breast cancer?
Yeah, exactly. So she found out in April, and that's why she missed a lot, not as much as the season as she potentially could have, but yeah, that's why she missed it.
And is that when you went off and had an affair with Coco Gauff?
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God.
That's exactly it. Yeah, because that was big in New Zealand. Everyone was really excited that I was playing with Coco. So yeah, we played Rome together and we lost in the final, which was fun.
Well, Coco Gauff's a legend. You Google her, I think she made something like $30 million last year.
Yeah, no, she is a legend. She's and she's also super nice, super down to earth. One of the people on tour that always is saying hello to everybody and super I'm a huge fan. She's great.
Yeah, 'cause right now where we're recording this at the PodLab studios, you're sharing an Airbnb just around the corner with your partner, Gaby. You're not sharing a 2-bedroom apartment with Coco Gauff, right?
Not at tournaments. Yeah. No. No, it's a little different when we're in our separate hotels.
Yeah. So, there was an article in the New Zealand Herald recently about you, and it described you. And I wanted to know if you thought this is fair or like rude or what you thought about it. Described you as the greatest New Zealand tennis player you've never heard of.
Oh, I did see that. No, I don't. No, I don't find that offensive. I think
funny or
it's funny. I thought it was funny, and they used it a couple times, which was kind of hilarious. Funny
the first time, second time.
Yeah. I mean, tennis in New Zealand is not as popular. It's getting more popular, obviously, with me and Michael Venus, Marcus Daniel, and then obviously Lulu. I think that's the goal, is to make tennis more popular. So I think they're just saying, like, you've never heard of us or me or whatever, because it's just not as popular. I mean, rugby's kind of ruling everything, but we're trying to change that.
100%. But I think there'll be people listening to this podcast that'll be like alarmed that you're number 2 in the world. You were number 1 in the world last year, and they haven't necessarily heard of you.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, no, I mean, honestly, I think just getting our stories out there, my story out there about, obviously people, they see me representing New Zealand and then they hear me talk and they're like, huh? What's that background? You know what I mean? Because everyone's like, oh, she sounds so American. So yeah, just getting the story out there and like letting people learn about me, I think is really exciting, because sports is amazing because everyone has such a cool story, and I love talking about like mine. So yeah.
And you've represented New Zealand for such a long time.
Yeah.
So you turned pro, you played for Canada for a tiny bit, like a couple of years?
I played for Canada in my junior career, and then I went to university and I played like maybe 3 pro events during that. So that was for Canada. And then immediately in my senior year of university, then I switched to play for New Zealand. So didn't really play pro for Canada at all.
And what does it mean to represent New Zealand?
Oh, it means everything. I think it was such a good decision, and I'm like so happy about it now. I mean, one of the main reasons I did it was to go to the Olympics. So now I've, checked that off my goal list, and I wanted to make history. So hopefully I think I'm doing it, and I hope I can continue.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Some of these achievements. Yeah, and you're wearing your New Zealand.
I know. That was not even like on purpose. I literally just love this shirt.
It's great. Like you're wearing it with pride, and
totally.
I think, for anyone that's listening to this not watching it, she's wearing the New Zealand team Paris 2024 top.
Yeah.
So you went to the Olympics to play doubles in the tennis with Lulu Sun.
Yeah.
You guys got knocked out in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, this might be a dumb tennis question. Is that because you're both fantastic players?
Yeah.
You both came in red hot form from Wimbledon?
Yeah.
Lulu in the singles, you in the doubles. Is it because you didn't have on-court chemistry?
I think we do have on-court chemistry. Doubles is so interesting because you really have to work at it together and like become a team. And I think Olympics is kind of interesting because you have all these teams that play together during the year, and then Olympics you can obviously only play with someone from your country, and so you have all these new teams trying to figure it out, and they've got like not much experience together. I think it's a couple things. I think being on clay, it's probably one of our worst surfaces, and after Wimbledon being on grass, having that confidence. But I think we can win on clay. But yeah, and we played Irani Paolini, and they ended up winning the gold medal. And they played all the time together. They were at WTA finals. They have been playing together for probably 2 years now. So they had that experience that we didn't have. So I think on the day, experience won, and it was a bit, I mean, I don't want to say, I never say you got a bad draw, but I would have loved to like have just one warm-up match before getting a chance to play them, because they're so tough. Like Gabby and I played them at WTA finals, and we won like 12-10 or something in the third set. So it was just like a couple things that didn't really go our way. I mean, we had a lot of chances and we just didn't convert. But yeah, I think it's a combination of a lot of things.
There's no shame in being knocked out of the tournament by someone that goes on to win a medal, right?
No, yeah. Yeah, after that we were cheering for them the whole way. So when they won gold, we were like, oh, perfect.
And how was your Olympic experience? Did you go to the opening ceremony? Were you staying in the village?
Yeah, staying in the village, went to the opening ceremony, had an amazing experience. Everyone on the New Zealand team was so kind, so welcoming. It really made me feel really much closer to the country and to everyone there. And I had an amazing experience. The opening ceremonies, I don't know if you've heard about it, but it was epic. Like on the boats.
I watched it from a TV viewing perspective.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Was it good?
Insane.
Oh,
the best
good.
Olympic opening ceremony I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Why was it incredible being on the boat? It looked miserable.
Yeah,
Did you
because it
have
was
a poncho
raining.
on?
Yeah. No, but it I don't know, it brought like an aura and energy. Everyone was so happy. We were like, I don't know, dancing with music and everything. And there was a lot of other countries on our boat. So we were like getting to know people. I don't know. I had a great time. Honestly, one of the top 10 experiences of my life.
Unreal. And you've had so many cool experiences.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
no, it was awesome.
Like my top 10, but your top 10. So did you become friends with any of the Kiwi athletes? Or did you connect with anyone?
Yeah, I connected with a few of them. Yeah, no, it was really, and I went to see a couple of them compete. I went to watch, who did I go to watch? I actually went to watch the rugby win the gold, which was cool. Rugby 7.
Oh, the girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some of them on the podcast. Michaela Blyde, she was on the podcast recently. She's awesome.
Yeah, I met her, so that was awesome to like meet her in person and watch them. And they beat Canada, which was kind of funny.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, because your doubles partner, Gaby, she was there as well, representing
Canada. Yeah. She was there playing with somebody else as well. So, yeah, no, I had an amazing Olympic experience. I'm definitely, LA 2028 is definitely a goal for me.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Do you and Gaby get jealous when you're playing with other people? Or
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think we understand. And Olympics is so different to everything else.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, going all the way back, your parents, are your parents still alive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
What do they do now? Do they live in a boat? Do they live in a house? Where do they...
They live in houses. They're separated, so they both live in houses. No more boats. No more boats. But
just the boating adventures. They must have just driven each other crazy.
I said that. I literally was like, imagine being with one person on a small sailboat going around the world. Like that would be crazy. Very adventurous. I always tell them that they're hippies for doing that, but like so cool. But yeah, no, we actually had because I left New Zealand when I was almost 5, and then we had a sailboat which we took like weekend trips on. Until I was probably like 11 or 12. So boats were like in my life for a while.
Yeah, because I've done a fair bit of research, but you can probably fill in some of the blanks here.
Yeah.
So from what I can gather, just like a young Canadian couple, hippie energy, as you said.
Yeah.
Then they're on a boat, they get pregnant with you.
Yeah.
So they're like, we got to, so they come to New Zealand.
Yeah.
And they put down sticks here, and
Yeah.
and you're born here, and then you have a couple of siblings.
Yes, exactly. So my parents, they actually met a Kiwi. I don't know. I should have asked her where they met her, but they met a Kiwi who they really connected with, and she was like, "Oh, well, it'd be cool if you could like come see me and have your baby in New Zealand." And they were like, "Oh, cool." So then they came here and they did that, and they fell in love immediately. I think we lived in the harbor for like a year on the boat, and then bought a house. My dad got a job, and then we were here for 5 years. And then I have 2 younger sisters. So we were all born here. And they kept the house, I think, until I was like 10 or 11. They wanted to come back. The reason why we left is because my grandparents got sick. So they wanted to be close to family that were like outside Toronto. So, and then they were planning on coming back, but life happens and they never did.
What do you, it's such a cool story. I think it says a lot about your parents, because it's a very, very certain sort of person that's going to do that, right?
Oh yeah.
Go on the open seas in a boat with just one other person.
Yeah, I ask them all the time. I literally am like, was there ever a time you thought you like were gonna die? Like I don't know. Mother Nature can do anything. You're on this small boat. The boat was not big. So yeah, they said there was a couple times.
Yeah, and we're talking 30 years ago, so there was no Starlink, there were no sat-nav phones.
No, they can't like text their parents and be like, hey, we're in so-and-so, like everything's fine. Like they said that they were like, I don't even know, doing the radio. I'm like addicted to my phone. I don't know how they did it. It's crazy.
Does it make you in awe of them that they did that?
Totally, yeah. No, I think it's honestly one of the coolest things ever. I mean, I'm very adventurous. I think I got that gene from them. But if someone asked me to do that, I don't think I would. Maybe, but
absolutely not. No chance.
Right?
So, what are your recollections of if anything, of those early years in New Zealand?
Yeah. So I remember. We had a really long driveway in our house, like weird things. And I remember our neighbor. I remember our family friend, Jocelyn, and her parents. That's the one that they met on the boat a little bit. But it's hard when you're young. A lot of the stuff you like just block it out and you don't remember it. But yeah.
Well, you're so young. And what about tennis? What are your earliest memories or recollections of tennis?
Oh, in general? Oh gosh, I don't even
because it's strange, isn't it? Because it's like I'm guessing your parents weren't tennis people.
So they played, but not like high level.
Right.
Like they played in like inter club, we call it, like a league.
Oh, yeah, like club tennis.
Yeah, exactly, club tennis. So they did that when I was, and I think I probably picked up my first racket when I was like 6. So it was like, what happened was in this small town that we were going to school and living in outside Toronto called Caledon, they had me and my 2 sisters, and I think they were quite tired, and it was like a free tennis for kids like on Wednesday nights, and so they wanted a break, so they put us all in that. And it stuck for me, and my other 2 sisters absolutely hated it. I don't know. That's how I got into it.
Were you naturally sort of good?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that my 2 sisters were not good, so they were, and I was better. Obviously, I was older, but I think that I think I had some sort of natural ability. And then I think I'm very competitive. Like, so I think I wanted to play tournaments and stuff. So I went to play a tournament, and then that's where my first coach saw me play and was like, do you have a coach? And I think my dad was like, no, like she just plays for fun. And he was like, oh my gosh, like I would love to work with her. And like, that's how I got connected with him.
And you must have got real good. And then in 2019, what happened then? You sort of retired. Hey, you sort of retired for a bit.
Kinda. Yeah, so after university, I graduated in 2017. I played for like 2 years. And then in the summer of 2019, I think that's kind of, it was like July, maybe, I don't know, June or July. I was like, okay, enough. I was just really unhappy, to be honest. I just wasn't winning, and I wasn't enjoying my life, and I wasn't enjoying traveling. I wasn't enjoying the grind. I wasn't really enjoying anything about it. And I was being really hard on myself. So I was like, okay, I'm done. Like, I don't want to play tennis anymore. And during university, I didn't know if I wanted to play pro. I did going into it. And then I really loved being at university, being on a team. That was some of the best times of my life. And I think, it's such an individual sport. I wasn't sure if I wanted to play pro. And then my senior year, when I started to play for New Zealand, I definitely knew I wanted to play pro. And then I don't know, things just didn't fall into place. It's hard. It's a really hard life. Like, you're living like week by week. If you don't have any money, like you can't, travel. It's like such an international sport. So you really have to find like joy and like the grind. And I wasn't enjoying it at all. So yeah, I quit, and I moved 3 hours outside of Toronto to my cottage. It's like where we grew up, going to or batch, you'd call it.
Yeah, we do. We do. It's a batch. Or actually, the South Islanders in like Canterbury, Dunedin way, a crib.
Yeah. So
Which sounds way less gangster than
yeah, it does, batch. That's funny. And then I lived there for like, I think I quit for like 6 or 8 months or something like that. And yeah.
So you were, say, 23, 24 at the time?
Yeah, 24, I think.
Yeah.
24, 25, ish.
It's alarming to think about like what you've accomplished since then, and all this incredible stuff that you've done may not have happened had you not decided to come back.
No, yeah.
So what did you do in that time? Dog sitting?
Yes, I did so I started dog sitting because I wanted to just get a job and do something, and then I was working at a tanning salon, which is...
What the fuck? It's so random.
It's so random, I know. But I wanted to be a barista. I wanted to make coffees, but there's no like cafes in that little town. So I just started handing out my resume to like clothing stores, tanning salons, and the lady that ran it was... she was so kind. She was like, wait, why do you want to work here? And I was like, I'm just like looking for a part-time job. And she was like, okay, like you can start literally tomorrow. So she trained me, and then I did that 3 days a week and loved it. It was like all these seniors, it's a huge senior community, and they'd been tanning for like 50 years. So I cleaned the beds, they'd go in, they'd tell me about their children, their grandchildren, their lives. I like made a bunch of friends that were like a lot older than me. And like I honestly loved it. And it really like makes you... I was obviously working for like minimum wage, doing absolutely like, I really understand the value of $1 after that. I was like, it was awesome. I loved it. But I did miss tennis eventually.
So was it beds or like a spray tan?
Beds.
Right.
Yeah.
Any funny stories from that period? Nothing that stands out.
No, nothing that really stands out.
Know.
I mean, the people like they would be really chatty and like telling me all about their lives. I could, I could probably. I'm not throwing any of them under the bus.
It's funny because on the one hand you loved it, but on the second hand you said it made you appreciate the value of the dollar. So it's not like you had to go at being a normal person. Then you were like, fuck that, I'm so lucky with this tennis gift.
Yeah.
You could have easily stayed doing that.
Totally, yeah. And I think. I think that ultimately why I wanted to play tennis again, it wasn't because I, thought that I could be number one in the world, honestly. Never in a million years. I was more just, I didn't feel like I'd given everything I had to the sport, and I didn't want to go, like, tennis had been my whole life, and I didn't want to go out in that way with such, like, a sour taste in my mouth, and I was, like, so unhappy at the end, and I was like, okay, I'm going to change my mindset, I'm going to change a lot of things about the way that I'm, you know, on the grind or whatever, and, yeah, I came back, but then COVID happened, so I literally came back, like, I don't know, January 2020.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened. So then it was another massive break. And I was like, wow, I really quit at the worst possible time. Because by the time I played again, it had almost been like a year with like random matches in between. It was tough.
Yeah. So that yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just fixated on this the tanning salon thing.
Yeah,
So
okay.
how long was it that you like didn't pick up a racket? Didn't have anything to do with tennis? Like 3 months, 2 months, or
Probably 5.
5 months?
Yeah, I would say 4 or 5 months. Yeah.
Is racket rust a thing? Is that a
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. No, a thing. And it depends on the player too. Sometimes you kind of go back to basics and you're fine. I think I'm more like that. Like I think kind of go back to, you know, the natural. I'm a pretty natural player, so I think it comes back quickly. But I honestly, I was with my sister and she's like, well, do you want me to go feed you some balls? Like she doesn't play tennis. She's like, you can see how it feels. Like we'll go at the like little, you know, the public courts. And so we did it and we had a really fun time. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's not like the worst thing in the world.
And what you talked about changing your mindset before? How did you make that change? Did you have like a psychologist or anything, or did you read some books?
Oh,
some
yeah,
podcasts,
many
or?
psychologists,
Yeah.
yes.
You're on a first name basis.
I think mostly it's just how I describe tennis is you have to get really good at losing, and then that's how you don't lose as much anymore. And so when I was losing week after week, because you lose every single week unless you win the tournament. Every single person, there's one winner and there's 99% of the losers. Well, losers, but and you kind of have to deal with that in a way and just keep going and like kind of you just have to have a really short memory because if you dwell on all the losses, we'd be dwelling all the time. Like it's just like seriously depressing. So I was just less hard on myself, I think. And I think, yeah, I just tried to enjoy like the little things and enjoy the process. That sounds like so cliche, but I mean, that's really what I did.
So if you lose now, I mean, yeah, like the Olympics, that's a bad example because you lost to a very, very good
No, but
opponent.
yeah, tough.
But if you lose a match in a tournament where you know you should have won,
Yeah.
like how do you pack that and move on?
I think try and find the positives in it. And I think realize, I mean, it's hard when we're ranked so high. We're basically the number 1 seed at every tournament. So technically, we should win every single tournament we play. That's never in a million years going to happen. So you kind of got to find the positives in it and have a good team around us to like remind us of what we were doing good. And we're really into the, you know, learning and growing and just growing as a team and yeah, just honestly enjoying the process because that's how we have our most success. We're never, honestly, we don't even talk about winning. We just talk about how we're going to play that day and how we're going to practice that day. And we're very like trying not to focus on the future at all because that just is, it gives anxiety.
Yeah, it's funny the way you frame it like that. It's probably similar to golf in a lot of ways. Like,
Oh, yeah.
You look at Tiger Woods, I think his win record is something like 18% or something.
Right.
He's the best ever.
Right. I think Federer, I don't know what Federer's record is, but it's not high at all. It's like, and that's why tennis is so wild to me is like all other sports is they have to win all the time. Like we don't have to be successful. But if you win all the time, it's a bonus, I guess.
Yeah, and you'll hear about some player that, you know, you've never heard of, and it's like, oh, he once beat Roger Federer in a match. And it's
Right.
like, for this player, it's his career highlight, life highlight.
Yeah, but it's like about consistency.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
tennis
yeah.
is a lot about, consistency.
Yeah. Okay, so there was that break in 2019.
Yeah.
We'll call it the tanning era. And then there was COVID.
Yeah.
Then 2023, that was a surreal year, eh?
Yeah.
That was, what happened in 2023? So you went to Wimbledon.
Yeah.
You had like a breakdown?
Oh,
A
2023
courtside
Wimbledon.
breakdown?
Oh, yeah. You read the article.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Talk us through that.
How
So
many? Well, there's a lot of breakdowns. I feel like if you talk to any tennis players, it's honestly never ending. Yeah. So that was a big one. So at the end of 2020, I met my now coach, one of my now coaches, Bruce Lipka. He's an American, and he kind of started working with me on like the mental stuff, and honestly changed a lot of tennis things for me as well, tactically. And then kind of drifted apart, and then I started working with him officially in 2022, 2 probably. And then 2023, in 2022 and 2023, I was ranked like 30 something in the world, and I had a pretty set partner, Alicia Rizolska. She's from Poland, and we were doing well, but then we broke up in like I think January or February of 2023. Just different goals. We weren't really having the results we wanted, and then I started playing with another player, Alexa Gracci. He's one of my best friends, and we had done well years ago, but we did not do very well that time. I think, combination of things. Our game styles weren't working. It was hard when you're friends, all that stuff. So, yeah, then I think we ended our partnership before Wimbledon, and then at Wimbledon we had a lot of match points in that match, and that was just like a breaking point. We hadn't won for like 4 months. Honestly, I don't think we won a match. Well, we won one. I don't know. It was a rough time. And then, that Wimbledon match was really tough. I think I felt like I was working really hard, and I had been for the last 2 years. And obviously before that, but like extra hard. I felt like I was playing well, but I felt like I just couldn't win a match. And I was like, it was better when I was like not working hard. Like maybe I should like change what I'm doing. And yeah, it's such an interesting sport. But yeah, there was a lot of crying after that match. I was...
the article that I read that in, was that a little clickbaity? Was it not necessarily as bad as what it sounds?
No, it was, it was bad.
Like a rock bottom bad?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It was just like I hadn't won in 4 months, and like it's not ideal for my job.
Why do you keep going then? Why at that point? Why don't you go back to the tanning salon and see if the position's still open?
Honestly, fair enough question. I'd asked Gabby to play. So then when you break up with a partnership in doubles, then you kind of look for another partnership. And Gabby had been someone that I'd known for a while, not well, but she'd been one of the people that I'd watched. And I texted her and I was like, hey, I'm looking for a partner. And I was ranked a lot lower than she was.
So this is Gabby Dabrowski.
Yes.
Who's like a couple of 100 meters away at an Airbnb around the corner
exactly.
right now. So at this point, are you damaged goods? Like you haven't won in 4 months?
I don't know. I think... Yeah, I don't know.
What was your ranking and what was hers?
I was probably like 35. She was probably like 15 or 20.
Okay.
But then...
So you must have been on her radar. Like she must have known that you were a good doubles player.
Yeah, I'd played against her.
Okay.
Yeah, played against her. We all know each other. Everyone basically in the top 100 or top 50, we all know each other. And we've seen each other play. And I think she had ended her partnership at French Open. And so then I asked her and was like, hey, you just kind of like you literally just text them and you're like, hey, are you interested? It's literally like dating.
It's like Tinder.
No, literally.
Tinder for doubles.
No, literally it is. And so she was like, okay, like let's talk after Wimbledon. And then we decided that we had a FaceTime call and we had a lot of the same goals. We were looking for, in a partner, we were kind of both looking for each other, I want to say. And so then we started playing together in Montreal was our first week. Montreal 2023. So it was like 3 weeks before US Open.
So that FaceTime call, like who's sort of leading it?
She was leading it.
Yeah, so you sort of selling yourself to her.
Well, we're both selling ourselves, I would say. Yeah, I think I was selling myself a little bit more because it's all about rankings. You need to combine rankings to get into tournaments. And so I'll take I always say that it was my idea for us to play together because I like sent the original text, but then she like, was like, let's FaceTime and talk about our goals. And I was like, oh, that shows like a lot of leadership and something I'm looking for. And when we were chatting, we, connected and we thought that we could be good together and then we'll see. And then it ended up we had like weird connections. Like the coach she had just started working with, I had been to his academy like 3 years prior. So that was really convenient. Dan Kiernan. And so now we're with him full time. So yeah. So it was, that was like 3 weeks. I think it was 3 weeks before US Open was our first tournament. And
you won that one. The US Open.
Yeah.
You won the fucking US Open.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So so that new partnership, how do you navigate that in terms of I don't know, like either on court or off court conflict, blame if she doesn't play as well as you did or vice versa. Like how do you navigate that stuff early on?
Yeah, I think it's really hard. I think it's kind of like you're trying to show them your best self at the beginning for sure, but then it's like honestly it's literally like dating. You're like in the honeymoon phase and you're trying to show them you're their self, and then like as shit happens then you're like demons are coming out and they're like learning about the real you. I'm telling you, it's like so crazy. People don't understand like that's what it's like, but it really is like that. But we just had I think we were playing well in Montreal, and that was the first match I'd won in a long time. And I opened up to Gabby and I said, I'm so glad we just won that match. We won at like 10-8 or something, really close. I haven't won a match in like, 4 months. And she was like, oh my gosh, you must have been like so nervous. And I was like, I was shitting myself, literally. so then like that was like a connection, and then we played 2 more weeks together, and then the week before US Open, I think we had some good wins, so we could see that we had potential, but then we had a really tough match, tough loss where we were not butting heads, but I think we both just were like, oh, like, this is real, like our personalities were coming out, because the thing with doubles is it's like you're trying to win, but you're under so much stress, and so like things are going to come out that you just kind of can't take personally, honestly. But we're very good at I always say that we're really good at having tough conversations, Gabby and I. If we don't like something, we're not afraid to say it to each other. If we like something, we'll tell each other. We kind of have that open space all the time. So we had like a big convo right before US Open. We were like, hey, this is our non-negotiables. This is what we want from each other. This is what we're looking for. And I guess that conversation really worked. I don't know.
Oh, it's so healthy, but it's not every relationship's going to get to that point.
No,
right?
no.
Can you remember your first like blowout or argument?
First argument?
like blowout. Or
you know what? We
argument,
don't. It's not like a blowout argument. It's just like on the court. Like she's probably like, no, I honestly can't. We now know that like if something happens on the court, we laugh about it after, and we kind of have that. I don't remember. We don't fight per se. We're just like, hey, like, why did you say this or something like that? But yeah, no, I don't remember. Don't.
I suppose you can't hold a grudge, eh? You just need to get it
absolutely
out
not.
and move on.
And as far as like, you're like saying with partnerships and blaming and stuff, I think if you're blaming your partner, then it's over. Do you know what I mean? Like it's over. So like we're very like win as a team, lose as a team, camaraderie, like all that stuff.
God, but I've got such people pleasing tendencies. Like if it was me, if I double faulted, I'd be like apologizing profusely to my partner.
That's funny because if Gabby were here right now, she would literally be like, "Oh yeah, you get mad when I apologize too much," because she'll like literally do something or like whatever. I guess she'll hit what she thinks is a bad shot, and she's like, "I'm sorry," and I'm like, "Gabby, just don't apologize. I know you're out here trying." She's like, "Sometimes I have to say sorry. Like it makes me feel better." I'm like, "Oh, I never thought of that." Like I'm just thinking of myself, because at the end of the day, it is an individual sport. That's what's so cool about doubles is like we've played by ourselves our whole lives, and only the last like 5 years was I playing with a partner, and so that's something that we're always like kind of selfish.
Yeah, what makes you so good at doubles? Like tennis is tennis, but there's singles and there's doubles, and they're very different disciplines.
Yeah, I don't know. It always came more natural to me. Juniors, I was better at doubles. I was still a very, very good singles player. And in college, I was, good at both, but better at doubles. Won 2 NCAAs in doubles. So it just came naturally to me. I think celebrating with somebody else is really fun. I don't really like celebrating by myself, so I always like that aspect. And I like trying to figure out, doubles is kind of like a puzzle. Like you're on the court and you're trying to figure out how to beat the other person or the other team, and you're doing it with somebody else. I really like that aspect. So yeah, I don't know. I think I also now I bring kind of like a lighter energy. I try to make everything kind of fun. I try to make Gabby smile, make me smile when I can, when I'm not like angry on the court. But yeah.
Hey, how do you do that? Because there was a tournament, and we're jumping around a bit here, but the tournament in Saudi Arabia that you won just towards the end of 2024. I saw some clips on YouTube. It looks like you guys are laughing or cracking up during the game.
Yeah.
Like during the game.
Yeah. It's probably like the match point. Gabby had a huge smile on her face, and we still to this day don't know if she was thinking something that was funny or if I said something that was funny. But we honestly just had the best time in Saudi Arabia. We had our one of our coaches, Dan, there, and then my sister was there, so that was awesome. And we were having like dance parties before every single match, and we were just really trying to keep it like light. Like I was kind of injured, so we were just trying to like have a good time. And yeah, I think it's important. I think everyone takes themselves too seriously, honestly. In tennis for sure. I think in life, but so we just try to, I don't know. I think that I deal with, if I'm uncomfortable, I'll make a joke. So that's just kind of how I deal with things, which,
Yeah, and but this will lead us nicely to the 2023 US Open, because you say people take themselves so seriously in tennis and in life, but you can see why. Like you won $700,000 prize money. Like the stakes are high, and it's the title as well, and it's just it's a whole lot of
Yeah.
It's a whole lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But what are your reflections on that? The 2023 US Open.
Yeah, it was. I think to win a slam, everything kind of has to go your way. Like, so many matches in a row. It's 2 weeks long. It's really long. By the end of it, you're exhausted. It's just, yeah. I honestly don't know. I think that we had a couple good wins at the beginning, and we knew that we could beat whoever. And then in the quarters, we had a come from behind win. We were down 7-2 in the 10-point tiebreaker, and we were just thought we were down and out. And then somehow we managed to pull that out, and it was against an American and a Canadian, so the crowd was really against us. And I think that it literally was one of the loudest stadiums I've ever played on in my life. I think to this day probably the loudest. And I think getting through that together felt so traumatic, that match. I think that we kind of felt like we could do anything after that, and we just tried to ride the wave. And then we rode the wave until I don't know, we won a Grand Slam. It was crazy. I think I was ranked 50 or 60 or something at that point because I dropped a lot, and to do that out of nowhere was pretty wild. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And nerves before that final.
Oh my gosh.
So you centre court at Flushing Meadows, US Open.
Yeah.
What the hell?
No, it was wild. I don't even know.
Were you vomiting?
I don't vomit when I'm nervous. I just kind of stay quiet, and normally I can never shut up. So I think that I don't know why. I honestly don't remember. I just was thinking, I said to Gabby before the match, I said, "Hey, this is not our," which I don't know why I had the brain power to think of this. I was just hey, this is not our last Grand Slam final together. We'll be in plenty more, so let's not stress about it. Let's just play. And I don't know why I said that. It was smart.
So smart. And then, $700,000 prize money.
Yeah, we split that.
Okay, so that's...
And it was taxed.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know about that, because that's a lot of prize money for you at that point. It's more than what you'd won for years and years and years.
I think my entire career, right? At
Really?
the time. I could be wrong. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong, but close.
But other sports people I've had on, like Joseph Parker, the boxer, these sums are eye-watering, but they're never... When you drill down to it, it's never as impressive as what it seems in terms of you said splitting it in half, taxing it.
All that
what
kind
else?
of
You
stuff.
got trainers to pay for?
Totally.
And,
No, our coaches, trainers, all those expenses. I mean, obviously we're paying for our own flights, all that stuff. We're paying for their hotels, all this stuff. We have teams, and it's so interesting because obviously, my parents put a ton of money into me going to tennis. Tennis is a very expensive sport, and then I put a ton of money into it after going to university. I was living week to week and in the red for years. So, and then now, obviously, I'm not in the red. So that's good. So at the end, at the end of not at the end, I'm not in the end of my career. In the peak of my career, tennis is so interesting because it's really good for the top players. And then for the bottom, it's such a grind. But yeah, I guess it's nice to reap the rewards of it, I guess.
It's like I mentioned before, your friend Coco Gauff, making something like $30 million a year.
Well, yeah.
For every Coco Gauff, there's probably 500 other players just grinding it out in economy
More,
class.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the US Open 2023. So, I mean, the title, the money aside, it's the title that counts, right?
Totally,
that means everything. But I suppose the money buys you a bit of relief.
Totally.
A bit of comfort for a while.
Yeah.
And then after that, Gabby's breast cancer journey begins, and on New Year's Eve 2024, she did a really, really powerful Instagram post titled "The Unseen of 2024." Yeah, and she explained her decision to come public with it now that she was sort of at in remission at the tail end. So when did you first hear about this?
Oh, in April. She told me right away when she she told me before it happened. She had the lump and was getting it biopsied, and immediately I was like, okay, well, honestly, immediately I was like, I'm sure it's nothing, you know what I mean? And then obviously it wasn't nothing, and then it was really scary. It was heavy, super heavy. I think at that time I didn't even really think about my tennis. I just thought about trying to support her in any way that I could and be her friend. So it was really, really heavy.
Yeah, she's explained it very well on this Instagram post, but it's you're so deeply entrenched and involved in it as well.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
As like a friend, but also like a teammate as well.
Totally, yeah.
And
our whole coaching, we were all trying to figure it out, yeah.
Yeah, and Yeah, I think it's really big of you to say that you didn't even think about the tennis, because I mean you are a highly competitive person, and you guys were just like hitting your straps, you
Right.
know?
Yeah. No, we'd started the year really strong. I think we had really started the year strong, and we'd never played a match on clay together, so that was when the clay season was about to start. It was like the week after my birthday, I think. And we were supposed to fly to Madrid in like 4 or 5 days, and she told us, and I was just like, yeah, it's so crazy. I called my sisters immediately. I was like distraught, it's really hard. Because I'm 29, I don't know anyone, my grandparents had cancer at the end of their lives, but I didn't know anyone close to me that had ever, and a young woman, she's, 31, about to be 32. Scary. Just puts things into perspective for sure. So, yeah, then I talked to, our team eventually when she just had to wait for a lot of stuff. And so she was like immediately like, okay, well, I just have to wait to figure out what I'm going to do. And I said, okay, well, I can't just like stop my job. I have to, then I started looking for other partners for the next few tournaments until she found out what her plan was, basically. So yeah.
That must have sucked for her, like sitting at home getting treatment, and you're off with Coco Gauff.
No, it's horrible. Yeah, no, seriously. I think honestly the tennis part. I've said this a lot of times now. Tennis didn't even cross my mind at that moment until I was like, my coach was like, okay, well you should probably start looking for a partner for these big tournaments. Madrid, Rome, French Open. When I knew that she couldn't play and I didn't know when she was going to be back. So ultimately she wasn't out for that long, which, was great, obviously. But yeah. Lucky.
Yeah, and the tournaments that you did play during that time, she was doing them like, just after chemotherapy treatment, and
so she didn't get chemo; she got radiation. Yeah,
sorry.
that's okay. She did a lumpectomy, and she had to go to do the lumpectomy. Sometimes they have to go in twice to do it. So she did that, and then had to do the rehab process for that. And she really wanted to play Wimbledon, and she wanted to play Olympics because it was obviously an Olympic year, and for her that's a massive deal. And so then she postponed, I think, her radiation. I don't want to speak for her, but I think she postponed her radiation to go between Toronto, the tournament we play, and U.S. Open. So she did her radiation the week before we played 2 weeks before we played U.S. Open, which is wild.
That's so badass.
Yeah, I know.
Isn't it?
No, it's really crazy. And then, so since she's, I think, been 6 months in remission, so now she'll just have to scan a lot and, keep up with it.
And did you know that Instagram post was going live on New Year's Eve?
Yeah, she'd talked about it a couple times, like in months leading up, like, wanting to tell. I was just completely hands off. I was like, you do you, girly. I'm with you no matter what. So if you want to tell people, great. If you don't want to tell people, I'm not telling people. So, but I think the reason why she came public is, to bring awareness and to tell her story. And it is like incredibly inspiring if you think about it. Like our year, 2024, we had a great year, like in our business, very successful. But if you now look at what she was dealing with behind the scenes, it makes it like insane. Absolutely insane.
Yeah. And oh, it is. It's incredible.
Yeah.
Like it's just remarkable, and I'm so pleased that it's a successful outcome. But also I can't imagine how challenging it is for you, because it's it impacts you as well, and it's just not your story to tell.
Right. Yeah. No. It was. Yeah. The only way I can describe it is it was really heavy. I'm really lucky that Gabby and we could talk about it, obviously, and then our team around us. So I talked to our coaches about it, and like my best friend that's like not involved in tennis at all was really helpful because she's not in tennis, and like my sisters. That's probably I talked to them a lot about it because it was the word I used to describe it was really heavy stuff. But it was hard to manage, but I mean nothing's harder than what she did. So, yeah.
So by the time Wimbledon comes around, when's that? July.
Yeah, July.
So she's still unwell at that point.
Yeah, so she'd done her surgeries, and we played for 3 weeks before Wimbledon. So we played the entire grass season. We started in, I think, end of June. So her first tournament back we won in Nottingham, which was crazy. And we had a good grass season leading up to Wimbledon, then made finals of Wimbledon, and then went like basically straight to Olympics and then Toronto, and it was like a never-ending year. Last year was wild.
Yeah, it's incredible. Let's just zoom down on Wimbledon for a bit. So, you guys made the final and got beaten. You made the final of Wimbledon.
Yeah.
That final game, is that on centre court?
Yes.
Fuck, what's that like?
Well, you know what? Being on it is crazy, but you know what's even crazier is walking out onto it, because they have all these all the winners and like all these like the trophies, and it's just like so iconic and like historical, and we got to do like a walk around because we'd never played on center court, obviously, like, and so before, like, a couple hours before the match, we got to like walk out and like just kind of like put our eyes to the court, so that was a bit weird, but yeah, no, it was wild.
And I think I'm basing this on I don't know, mate, that a Netflix show I saw, or a Boris Becker documentary or something. But the changing room's all open, so you're in there with your opponents and.
Our changing rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah. Our locker rooms are always like, we're always with like all of our opponents.
Isn't that weird?
You know what? It's normal now because I don't even think about it, because every single week we're with like all of our opponents. In Saudi, we got personal locker rooms, and that was like a treat, because it was like me and Gabby and our team, and that's it. So that was really nice. But I don't even think about it. Like, we share locker rooms all the time, which I guess, in team sports, it's not a thing.
It's so weird, like just fraternizing with your opponent before you go out for battle.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, we're just like, we literally like pass each other like 400 times a day. We're just like, hey, what's up?
Man, by the way, I've got goosebumps from hearing you talk about like Wimbledon centre court before. That is so cool.
Yeah, no,
it's
epic.
incredible. And are you nervous when you go out, or are you just like game face on? How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm nervous before every time I play.
Yeah.
I think the nerves go away as the match starts. You know, we start playing, and then, I don't know. Then you're like so into it, you're not like super nervous. But then like as a big point comes, like then you'll get nervous again. But you're definitely, the worst is like the morning of, where you're just like, oh, yeah, tough.
Because what time of the day was the game?
I don't remember. Like afternoon, maybe. Like
so you
1
just
or
like
2.
So you wake up and you're just like waiting around all day.
Yeah, you try to like, I try to shut. Obviously, I do all my like visualization, all this stuff. Like I try to shut my brain off and give it a break from thinking about the match. Because if you think about it for 5 hours leading up, you're gonna be tired by the time it starts.
But then, how do you not think about it? It's the Wimbledon final.
Yeah, that's true.
And when you're on the court, are you aware of like there's breaks in between games and sets and in between points? Are you aware of anyone like high profile that's there? Like, are you aware that? I don't know, like
good question.
Prince William's there, or Ben Stiller, or whoever it happens to. Tom Cruise.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I love celebrities, but not when I'm playing. I do see, like, I'll check the Instagram like day of, before, whatever, and like obviously I'll try and go, and like sometimes they're in the players' lounge and stuff like that, but not in the moment, because that's too difficult, I think. I mean, who knows? Who knows? If Kate Middleton like showed up to the match, I'd probably freak out.
And what for making the finals? Do you get any perks or privileges for life?
Yeah, so we're in the Final 8 club, it's called. So I actually don't really know the perks of it, but I think we get to go in like a fancy locker room for the rest of our time playing Wimbledon, and then I think for the rest of my life I can go to Wimbledon with a guest and like have like a badge.
I feel like you need to look into this and just see what privileges you're entitled. I suppose this is something to worry about at the end of your playing career.
Exactly. Yeah, right now I don't need that because I like have the badge. You know what I mean? And I have the thing. But like one day, because now I'm Final 8 club, I think in Australia, US, and Wimbledon. So I don't know if I have like a little girl or a little boy that I could take. That would be cool.
Oh my God, Erin, stop being so chill about all this. This is amazing.
That would be cool.
That is so cool. And did you meet anyone cool there? Like I've had Lulu, your friend Lulu on the podcast. She got to meet Martina Navratilova and Billie Jean King.
Oh wow.
Did you meet anyone at Wimbledon?
I met Martina. Yeah, she's great, super nice.
Who were your idols growing up? Who were you?
Tennis idols?
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to think. 29. So who would it have been for you? Like Monica Seles?
No. I really
Martina Hingis?
I liked watching Martina later. Like when I was like in college, I would watch her because she was such a doubles like special. I really liked Ana Ivanovic. She's a Serbian player, but there's not like I didn't like latch on to like one or two players, to be honest. I kind of watched kind of everything. Yeah, I did. I'm trying to think. I like Juan Martín del Potro. He's like an Argentinian player. I used to like him, but yeah.
He's got the coolest name as well.
He does, yeah.
Yeah. And how's your mental health been? It seems like tennis is like a very much a mental game, eh?
Yeah.
And as we talked about before, when you're in that losing streak, you know, lots and lots of lows that you have to contend with and dust
Yeah.
yourself off and get back up again. Yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm learning a lot. I think it's a tough sport. It's a grind. I think, now it's really nice now I'm playing the biggest tournaments, and every week I have like a set schedule. I have a set schedule for the year. I have a great team around me and a really supportive partner. Sometimes my family comes around to tournaments with me, and it's like a much different life than like the grind I was on a couple years ago. But it's still, there's obviously still hard times and stuff like that, and like losing every week is tough. But I think I have a much better perspective now, and I'm just trying to keep like learning about myself and people around me. And, I think that I hope that I'm just getting started in tennis. And I think that like I can keep going and keep having the success. And I'm really, really enjoying my life right now. So I hope I can continue.
Yeah. So you're 29 now. Does it feel like you're sort of at the apex of your career?
It does. Yeah. So I'm turning 30 in April. And I kind of feel like I'm at the peak. Like I feel like I'm have a lot of good playing years left in me. And so I hope that I can do that, knock on wood. I'm doing a little extra like rehab in the gym now, dealing with this injury. I'm like getting older. So yeah, I'm trying to manage that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, I'm really happy.
Yeah, because a lot of you guys end up with real broken bodies, eh? Like I've read the have you read the Andre Agassi book?
I
Open?
have,
Yeah, like he was in a lot of pain.
Singles is a different beast, to be honest. But yeah, doubles is tough. Obviously, I missed ASB this year because I have 2 broken ribs right now, so that's not fun. So yeah.
Oh, how did that happen?
Coughing. I was sick at the end of season, and I guess you can cough.
Coughing?
Yeah, you can cough. You can cough so hard that you break your ribs. Apparently, I guess it's common. I didn't even know. Yeah.
I expected some awesome tennis injury.
No, it's not a good story at all. It's like very like I like wish it was like a cooler, more badass story, but it's not.
So, goals for 2025? Or is it hard for you to have goals? Because it'd be nice to say like win a Grand Slam, but as you've sort of explained, like it requires a fair bit of luck, eh?
Yeah, and I think we are just going match by match, day by day at this point. I think we believe that we can beat anyone that is in front of us, and I think. Yeah, we've always said we want to be multiple Grand Slam winners, so we have only won one together, so to win another, that would be great, or more, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, I think we always want to be like the number 1 team in the world, so that's a big goal. But I think, there's it's all about the process. We don't even honestly talk about our goals because we kind of know. We're like on the same wavelength. We know that we just need to do our stuff in order to get there. So yeah.
Do you ever? You seem like you've got such a growth mindset. So I'm probably just projecting here, but do you ever pause to think how different your life would look had you stayed at the tanning salon?
That's funny.
Like, do you Yeah. Like, do you think of all the incredible stuff and all the bad stuff that's happened to you?
Yeah.
Since then, but
I mean, it would be crazy. I don't even know. I think. I am a true believer that everything happens for a reason. So there's a reason that was like happened and why I got that job and whatever. But yeah, no, my life would be crazy different. I don't even know what I would be doing if I didn't go back to tennis.
You could be manager of the tanning salon.
You could own one.
Right? What would if Gabby was here? What would she say your biggest strengths and weaknesses are?
Ooh. Let's go strengths first. My biggest strengths, I don't know. I hope probably to make her laugh. I think she thinks I'm pretty funny, and that helps to keep things light and, help us enjoy our lives and our matches and everything like that. Probably that's so lame, but like my forehand, she like loves my forehand. Weaknesses, damn. What would she say my biggest weakness is? I'm quite stubborn. I think she'd probably say that. We're both very stubborn, both of us. But yeah, I think she would probably say stubborn. Sometimes I try to be open-minded, but sometimes I'm like stuck on. I'm very black and white. My psychologist told me the other day that I'm very black and white, and it's like you either do this and this happens, or you don't do this and this doesn't happen. So I think maybe sometimes I can be in the gray a little bit more. So yeah, maybe stubborn.
It's a work on.
Yeah, I'm working on it. Okay.
You said you're a psychologist. Is that a sports?
Yeah. Well, I've multiple, but yeah.
Right. What do you mean you got multiple?
Well, you have
like
one
in every city.
No. I have 2. There's like a regular therapist and then like a sports psych. Tennis players, we need a lot of therapists. Okay, so
yeah. How old were you when you first went to a therapist?
14.
14.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, did your parents send you? Or was it a
Yeah.
school-sanctioned thing? Or?
Yeah. My parents sent me, and then also I did in college. My coach in college sent me, and then I started doing my own stuff, like out of probably during when I quit tennis in like 2019, and now it's just like a journey. Yeah. All different, yeah.
Wow. I feel like here in New Zealand, it's becoming like more and more sort of common, and there's no stigma involved with it anymore. But I feel like Americans and Canadians and South Americans and other parts of the world are far more open to it than what a lot of New Zealanders still are.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, I don't think there should be any stigma. I honestly think every single person on the planet needs one.
Yeah. Oh, I started going about 5 years ago. It's the best thing ever.
No way.
Yeah, it's like a personal trainer for the neck
for
up.
your brain. And it's like, this is a muscle that we all need to be working. Seriously, I literally walk out every single time and I learn something new, and I'm like so happy. It's the best.
Yeah, it's just a different way of framing things and looking at things.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. And you get to talk about yourself for an hour. Who would not want that?
That's funny.
So do you do it by do you do it by Zoom? You do it online or?
Yeah, Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm traveling. Like our season is like 10 months of the year. So yeah.
Unreal. Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice question. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I would definitely say yeah.
Yeah, I like asking that one because a lot of New Zealanders, I think more males in particular, really struggle to answer that because it feels, I don't know,
cocky kind of
cocky or braggy or something. Like we're not allowed to be proud of yourself. But I think it's good if you've got that sort of self-awareness that you can be proud of yourself. I think that's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I've said that often, but yeah, no, I definitely am. If I think about it pretty hard, yeah, I am.
And we don't want you to think about it pretty hard.
No,
hey, by the way, I just noticed your tattoo. Silver
Oh,
fin
yeah.
on your left wrist.
You like that?
That's so cool.
From Olympics.
Yeah.
I got it like a month ago.
That's so cool. And were you, okay, just as a follow-up from that last question, were you proud of yourself before the achievements of like the last couple of years?
Yeah, I think, definitely. I think tennis is hard because there's so much validation from winning and losing. Well, winning, I guess. And, I think athletes in general, we take a lot of self-worth from our achievements, which is not healthy. But yeah, I'm definitely learning. And I would say I was proud of myself before, for sure. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. I cannot wait to see what the future brings.
Oh, thank you.
It feels like now is your time to shine.
Oh, thanks.
Erin Routliffe, the greatest New Zealand tennis player you've never heard of. Well, now we have.
Yeah, you better now.
Hey, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks a lot for having me.